Feel free to
Going on.
tune in, peeps. Yep.
That's right.
Well, those of you tuning in not live, uh, welcome to the show. Also, obviously this is our weekly thing. Um, Sideline Sport Talk on YouTube. If you guys are listening and watching, you guys click the bell, hit the subscribe button. We're looking for 100 subscribers right now. That's our goal. 100 subscribers.
That's right.
If we can hit a
Let's get
hundred,
it.
there's no reason we can't hit 1,000. And once we hit 1,000, now we're talking. We're talking basically 10,000 and then a million. I mean, we're talking. We would be like the Delta variant of sports shows. That's what we want. We want to be
Yeah.
just highly contagious to everyone. So that's the goal.
That's right. That's right. Want to get it out there, baby.
Oh man. But
Want to
sports.
get it out there. Let's ramp it up. NFL's around the corner.
So we got a lot of basketball trades. We got football starting tomorrow. We got the Olympics going on. We got all kinds of other stuff going on. I mean,
It's at it again.
we're in a good spot right now. We're in a good spot. Tonight we're definitely going over my fantasy top 10 wide receivers going into this year. Uh,
Right.
and it might surprise you a little bit. I don't know. I don't know. Who knows? Who
Hey,
knows? But I don't know. What else we got? We got a lot of stuff went down in the NBA yesterday. Um,
a lot of stuff. A
I mean,
bunch of
we're
stuff.
talking. Steph Curry signs a 4-year, $250 million deal.
My man is a G. A G.
A
Was it
lot of
250 or
money.
2? I think it was 205.
He's making no, because he's making 53 million a year on that extension.
Okay.
So it was 200 and maybe you're right then.
I thought it was 205, but
205,
still,
212, somewhere
he's the
around there.
first player in the NBA to ever sign two contracts over $200 million. So, kudos to Steph Curry. Definitely won't be hurting for any cashish anytime soon.
And then what else? So the Chicago Bulls picked up Alex Caruso, DeMar DeRozan, Lonzo Ball. They went crazy. I thought they were gonna make a move for Anthony Davis, but they didn't. Um, but you know how that goes.
Yeah.
Um,
That was your thing last week,
that
wasn't
was
it?
my thing. I was like, he's gonna
You
do
were
that, and
saying.
now people are gonna start questioning me.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? That's what we sports people do, right? We slap stuff against the
What
wall
else?
and we
So
say,
and you hope it
let's see if
sticks.
something sticks. That's right. That's right. That's right.
I,
So,
I'll let you guys
um,
down. It's not over yet, though.
yeah. But definitely a lot happening in the world sports. We had the draft last week, which we covered. The Orlando Magic, our local team, had a gift finally from the basketball gods, and we
Oh
got
yeah.
Jalen Suggs. Huge splash from the Magic signing one of the Lopez twins. Whatever. But you know what? It's a young team, and he's a veteran.
Yeah.
And by all accounts, everybody loves the guy.
I thought we were
So
gonna make a move for Kawhi. I thought we were gonna go for Kawhi. Dollar Bill.
I'm still holding out hope for the David Lillard trade, some way, somehow. We'll see.
Yeah, but
I
um,
doubt it.
Melo went to the Lakers. So did Russell
Yep,
Westbrook. So
yep.
they've got their God Squad.
They have two of the four members, I believe it was four total members of the Banana Boat. So with Melo and LeBron, I'm a little surprised that they did not try to go after Chris Paul, who was another one of
Yeah, he
those guys
re-signed
on
with
the Banana
Phoenix.
Boat.
Yeah.
And right, he did go back over there, and I thought for sure that they would make a push for him, Chris Paul, LeBron James, Carmelo Anthony. I mean, I think that would have been. I think everybody thought that was going to be the deal.
I
That
don't
was
know
going
if
to
the
happen.
money would have been there for Chris Paul. I mean, the guy's coming off of an NBA Finals run, had a great run. Um, I don't know. I don't know if the money would have been there to get
Yeah,
him there.
and he
Um,
signed a 4 year deal. It's not like he signed
yeah.
some scrub mid level exemption or veteran minimum deal. He went all out, man. 4 years. I think it was somewhere like 80 million or something like that.
Something like that.
Which puts him somewhere around that 20 mil a year or so. Which for a guy like Chris Paul to get in there and to get a deal like that. I mean, that's going to take him. I think he's 32, takes him into 36, I believe, or somewhere in there.
Yeah.
So, for a guy like Chris Paul, kudos to him for
But
picking that
I
up.
mean, he
So,
averaged almost a double-double last year. I think he averaged almost 17 points and 9 assists a game. Um, it was what they said, but they said it could be worth up to 120 million 4 years.
mm,
So
wow,
Chris Paul holding it
yeah,
down.
a lot of numbers out there, man. I keep getting them all confused, but there was just a lot of money out there. A lot of guys getting paid.
Kyle Lowry went
Um,
to the Heat. That was
yep,
another big
yep.
one.
Kyle Lowry. Yep. The Heat. They're a sneaky team. I was looking at their lineup here today. They re-signed Victor Oladipo today, which that's a guy that was I forgot he was out there
Yep.
because he had some surgery or whatnot. But you got Victor Oladipo. Now you have Kyle Lowry. You still have Bam Adebayo over there. You have Jimmy Butler. They have
They've
themselves
got a team.
a little team over there, man. A little squad over there that can hopefully put some stuff together and make some noise. Bill is in the house and he is all about the lightning. But that's old news, bud.
Yeah.
Old news. We've moved on. We're on to football.
We're on to next
to
season.
football. That's right.
Let's see. So Trae Young re-signed with a max contract deal. Blake Griffin's going back to the Nets. We're just looking at the big names here. Let's see. Jared Allen, 5-year extension with the Cavs.
Tell you what, that's a guy that made some good money there.
Yeah. I don't know about Steph Curry with the 4-year deal. Let's see. Let's see if we got. Oh, here we go. Oh, Dwight Howard going back to the Lakers. Trevor Ariza,
Yep.
both ex-Magic players. They brought back Kent Bazemore too. Miami Heat. Here we go. Kyle Lowry, sign and trade deal. Jimmy Butler max contract. Duncan Robinson 5-year extension. Oladipo comes back. I mean, that's the Heat. Heat ain't nothing to mess with. Kemba Walker's going to the Knicks. They got the buyout, right?
Is it? No, it's not. I don't think it's the Knicks. I think it's OKC is where Kemba Walker's going.
Are
Is
you
it
sure?
OKC? I thought it was Oklahoma.
It's gonna be he's signing. He's getting bought out by OKC and then getting signed to the Knicks. I think it's how he's going to the Knicks. I know that.
Okay.
Evan Fournier, 4-year deal with the Knicks. Derrick Rose, 3-year deal with the Knicks. And there's the Magic. Robin Lopez.
The Magic have done absolutely nothing.
They did sign a 2-year deal to Mo Wagner.
Mo Wagner, the older brother of Franz
Wagner.
Who was just picked up last week with the 8th pick in the draft. So
he also
I guess they're already...
makes wooden toys on the side. I hear he's a toy maker.
I am a Magic fan, as you know, Timmy, and I had no idea we had Mo Wagner on our team.
I am my character plays on the Orlando Magic in an NBA 2K, and I didn't know we had Mo Wagner.
Yeah. He's like your legit teammate. You didn't even know.
Yeah, he's like our third center. So yeah, that's
great.
it for the NBA.
Yeah,
a lot more to come.
Leonard, what's Kawhi Leonard done? Here we go. Let's see here.
He hasn't done anything.
He hasn't done anything. But Taco Fall is still a Celtic, is he not?
I believe so. I believe Taco Fall is still. I would have liked to see him make a move back down to Orlando, man. That would be sweet. That would be sweet. So what I was gonna do is I don't have a sideliner's opinion today because last week is gonna be hard to beat, but I figured we can segue into football by going over the fantasy top 10 wide receivers. I know we covered running backs last week, blew some of y'all's minds, and I'm sticking with it. This week is wide receivers. So if you're in fantasy football, pay attention. Write this down. Unless you're playing in a league against me, then don't pay attention at all. At number 10. I'm going to start at number 10 and work my way down to number 1.
Okay.
Should we do it that way?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay. Let's do it that way because last week we started with number 1 and it was kind of anticlimactic.
More intrigue there, Yeah, absolutely.
All right, so number 10, I got Calvin Ridley. coming out of Atlanta, we got no Julio Jones, so I think the targets are going to be there. I think the receptions are going to be there. A lot of people have him actually ranked higher than 10. They have him around the 6 or 7 area.
See some people that try to get him in the top three,
Yeah,
which is very surprising to me. But and I'm a big Calvin Ridley fan.
yeah,
Remember, I was one of the first ones in our league that jumped on him, and some people were questioning me a little bit. And he's turned out to be pretty damn good, and now he's got a really good tight end coming in there. See
he
how that
does.
affects it.
And I think that's like I said, I think going from because Calvin Ridley was already there. He was the top 15 with Julio there, with Julio gone. Now you're gonna have a rookie
Mm-hmm.
tight end coming in. Um, but number 9, Adam Thielen, Minnesota
Okay.
Vikings. This is strictly just based off of the amount of touchdowns that he gets. I think he had 14 last year,
Mm-hmm.
and he had somewhere around 70 receptions, 80 receptions, something like that, 1,000 yards. But his touchdowns actually bump him up a lot, and not a whole lot has changed, I don't think, in their offense from last year. They're still going to have Dalvin Cook, still going to
Yep.
have he who will be named later in the wide receiver rankings. Number 8, Allen Robinson. Believe it or not, this guy catches a lot of passes. I
Okay.
think he had like 120 receptions or something last year. And I mean that alone, receptions equal opportunity, and that's how
Mm-hmm.
you've got to that's how you always kind of have to look into fantasy is go by touches, go by receptions, go by looks. Uh, that is why Allen Robinson is so high. At number 7, and this is going to be because of the quarterback change. I've got Robert Woods from the Rams. They've
Mm-hmm.
got Matthew Stafford there now. Robert Woods was already a top 10 wide receiver. I think he's going to be uh, in that. I think he's going to be making that bump this year. I'm curious to see how Cooper Kupp's going to run on that, but I think Robert Woods kind of jumped as the clear cut like leader in wide receivers.
Okay.
Um, Number 6, Justin Jefferson. Speaking of Adam Thielen, I've got Justin Jefferson, phenom rookie that came out last year. This guy is, I was watching a video and somebody said they said, oh, arguably he had the best rookie wide receiver season in history. And I said, clearly you don't know what you're talking about because Randy Moss had the greatest rookie wide receiver season of all time.
Yeah.
Anquan Bolden had a better season than Justin Jefferson in his rookie year. So, he's like, well, it's up for debate. I said, statistics are not up for debate. Like, you said the greatest rookie fantasy wide receiver year of all time, and I just gave you two
Yeah.
guys who scored more points. That way they had a better year. But Justin Jefferson, Adam Thielen, man, those guys, from a fantasy aspect, they have to be probably the best duo in football. Now, I'm not going to say they're the best wide receiver duo in football, but from a fantasy aspect, I think they are the best
Yeah.
when it comes to just stacking points. Like if you had both those guys in your team, I think you would be okay. Number 5, we're on
Mm.
5. The monster, DK Metcalf.
He could.
And a lot of people are going to wonder why I left Tyler Lockett off my top 10. It's because of DK Metcalf. I think Tyler Lockett, the first 8 games last year, him and Russell Wilson were the top one quarterback wide receiver duo in fantasy. But then DK kind of started catching on and figuring out what was going on. And I think this guy is. I mean, it's hard not to have just such. I mean, he's a scarier version of Calvin Johnson. So
Yeah.
we've got him at 5. Number 4, DeAndre Hopkins, Arizona Cardinals. What a fall from grace. This guy goes from being number 1 and now he's number 4. Um, and this is just because of the team he's on. If any other team that was didn't have a running back as a quarterback, I think we would have been in good shape. Um, Number 3, Stephon Diggs, and I think my 1, 2, and 3, honestly, I'm going to tell you, I have them ranked in how I think they're going to finish, but any 3 of these guys could easily be number 1. Stephon Diggs at number 3. The Bills went off last year. I think they're going to try and, duplicate what they did last year. Stephon Diggs was just a monster in fantasy. If anybody picked him up by accident, as their second or third wide receiver. Number 2, I got Tyreek Hill. I don't need to explain myself on that. Number 1, Davante Adams. Aaron Rodgers is coming back. Davante Adams is happy. They've got Randall Cobb coming out of the flex, out of the
Out of the flex.
Out of
Yep.
the, you know what I mean. Um, but yeah, I think those three guys, Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill, Stephon Diggs. If you get any one of those guys, the potential for you to have the best wide receiver in fantasy is a very real possibility. And that's my top 10. I don't
Okay.
know if you
All
agree
right.
or disagree, or if
All
there's
right.
some names that are left
Read
off.
them. Kind of read them back to me again,
Okay.
just so that we can, get them fresh.
So we got Devontae Adams, Tyreek Hill,
Mhm.
Stephon Diggs, DeAndre Hopkins, DK Metcalf, Justin Jefferson, Robert Woods, Allen Robinson, Adam Thielen, Calvin Ridley.
Mm.
Boom, boom, boom. Now people are
Okay.
gonna say you
No.
left off Mike
Mm.
Evans and you left off
What about AJ Brown?
AJ Brown, another guy. AJ Brown, and again, I think we spoke about this before. I think his numbers are going to take a hit because Julio Jones is there.
Mm.
Last year he was the guy. Now, and they still have who's their tight end? Is it Hawkinson? Is he in Tennessee?
No, no, no. Hawkinson is in Detroit.
Who's
They
Tennessee's tight end?
they were I think they were looking for a tight end. That's kind of the weak point right now is a tight end. I
Oh, we
believe
talked
that
about that because
they
them in Dallas both missing tight
yeah
ends.
yeah. And no Dallas guys. I know CeeDee Lamb or any of those guys in there in the top 10 for you.
Not in my
I'm
top
proud of
10.
you.
Not
I
in my
am
top 10.
proud of you because you decided not to go that route with any of these guys. I mean, I really can't I can't disagree with you a whole bunch. I mean, I think I have questions on a couple of guys. I have believe it or not, and I am a big Devontae Adams fan. A big
Yeah.
Devontae Adams fan. Um, I have a little bit of concern for him. And the reason I say that is because he's not happy. You mentioned that he's happy. He's happy to have Aaron Rodgers, but he's not happy to be on the Packers. And I don't know what he's going to do with that unhappiness.
Well,
I don't know if it's going to be one of those, F the world, I'm going all out, and before you know it, he's taking over the world, or F it, I don't want to be here, I'm going to pout like crazy, and I'm just going to, be mediocre and just would not care because I want to get the hell out of Dodge. Um, but if he plays his potential, definitely a number one guy. And another guy that I was high on early on in his career that people thought I was early on, but he's one of those guys. It was him and what's his name from Marcus Colston with remember
ooh,
with the Saints.
with the Saints.
I would always, I think I went like 4 or 5 years in a row where it was just, shit, I ended up with Marcus Colston again. Oh, I got Marcus Colston again. You know what I mean? And I wasn't mad about it.
Yeah,
And
100
Devontae Adams,
receptions.
I did that about 2 or 3 years, with him. And some years I was a little disappointed, but for the most part, he did all right. But Stephon Diggs is the guy that I think, I mean, if he can build off that year from last year, man, I don't know if it's going to be one of those deals where they go into that next season and people kind of have them figured out a little bit. But
Right, right.
they do have now, um, they do have the benefit of another year, under their quarterback's belt. They do have another year together as an offense. They do have Emmanuel Sanders, I believe, is a Buffalo Bill, and a guy like that has some experience that can be crafty and get in there, and maybe open up some things for Stephon Diggs. So, that I really like him. Justin Jefferson, though, is the one that I think has the potential to, if he can replicate what he did last year and
Yeah.
build off of that, and that team can figure out a way to kind of get it together. I mean, there's that offense, man. When you look at it, there's really no reason why that offense can't be
No.
putting up some monster points. You mentioned Thielen. Um, they have Dalvin Cook back there. He stays healthy. He's one of the top backs for sure in the
Oh
NFL.
yeah.
And all of a sudden, you get this kid, Justin Jefferson, doing what he did last year. If he can replicate that and maybe a little bit more and step his game up to that next level, I mean, why wouldn't he be a top three guy?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Um,
I mean, and we did leave some people. I mean, we left off, Terry McLaurin, who's going to be right around, all these guys are right around the 10 to 15 area. AJ Brown, Terry McLaurin, CeeDee Lamb, who I think is actually going to have a better year than Amari Cooper. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Cooper Kupp, like we said. I mean, these guys, like I said, any of these guys could easily jump up. I mean, even guys like Brandon
Yeah.
Ayuk. You just don't know what
Yeah.
San Francisco is going to do, but the potential for any wide receiver in the top 20 can easily. I mean, even in 1 week, you get 1
Yeah.
week where you get 11
Yeah.
receptions and 200 yards
Yeah.
and 3 touchdowns. Now you go from being 20 to like 4. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
you never know what's going to happen. But those were my top 10, just
Yeah.
based on. And like I said, I would, if Justin Jefferson didn't have Adam Thielen on his team, I think Justin Jefferson would be a top 3. But I think
Yeah.
there's only one football. You can only catch one ball, and they spread it around, and they do a very good job of those two guys. Minimum getting 20 touchdowns between the two of them. So.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think Papa Tim there is mentioning Julio. He's I mean, who knows, right? Maybe he's rejuvenated and he goes out there and he turns back the clock and I think those guys are going to take turns, right? I think it's going to be a little frustrating having those guys because 1 week one guy would do one and then the next week the other guy will have a shot because I think it's going to happen in chunks. I think what's going to end up happening there is, because you do have such a strong running back and running game there, you're going to see Tannehill just get back there sometimes and just chuck the ball up there.
Yeah.
I mean, and we talked about it a little bit last week. What are you going to do, right? You can't stack the box because you got a running back will kill you.
Yep.
And then you can't overload one side to single the other side because then that guy's going to kill you.
Yep.
I mean, it's just if those guys are hitting on all cylinders, man, that's an offense as well that can put up some points. I don't know, man. I'm excited about the NFL. There's a lot of good stuff happening. Just if we start going around the NFL, the Bucks bringing back their team. Timmy, Tom Brady turned 44 years old last year.
Is he that old? Jeez.
Yesterday. Tom Brady turned 44 years old yesterday.
And he's still slinging it. I don't know. Guy's a freak.
Good as hell.
But the good news is, guys, football is back tomorrow. 8 o'clock on Fox. The Dallas Cowboys, the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't know what jersey to wear tomorrow. I don't know if I wear my Juju jersey. I don't know if I wear my CeeDee Lamb jersey, my Dak jersey. I don't know. I don't know what to do. But this is going to be, I mean, of all the games the two teams to kick off the season, these two, I mean, man, I love it.
Yeah. Timmy, what's going to happen with Dak Prescott? I mean, I know they're trying to take it easy now with him. What's going to happen there?
I don't expect to see a lot of him in the preseason. I think they might bring him out maybe the last preseason, maybe like one series on the 3rd week, 4th week, maybe a couple series, just to kind of get those like football timing jitters out of the way. You know what I mean? So he's not getting just thrown in cold to the first week. But from everything I see, I think he's going to be okay. The big thing I did see was the Pittsburgh Steelers are making players that are not vaccinated wear yellow wristbands. Now, I don't assume to be a history major here, but I heard this and my jaw kind of dropped because I'm like, this is like the Holocaust. Like when they do understand, like they made the Jews wear yellow stars to stand out. Now you've got non-vaccinated players wearing yellow wristbands. Like, are you?
Yeah.
Not.
Yeah.
I get it. It's your team colors, but come on, guys. Like, you have to understand that was gonna come out and be an issue. The COVID thing, man. This is the one dart you are throwing at a wall with anybody you draft. Is you just don't know what's going to happen with COVID. Yeah. Whether a team's going to have to sit out, whether a player's going to be out a week or two. I don't know. This is the one thing that worries me about fantasy is COVID. So
yeah, it's a one unpredictable thing, right? Because a guy can look perfectly healthy and then they go and test him and he comes back with a positive test, and before you know it, right before game time, he's being pulled off the field or not allowed onto the field, and here you are losing out on players. But
and how are they going to test them? Because now the rapid tests they've realized weren't effective. Like they were giving out false positives. There was no way of telling, if it was the flu or if it was COVID or if it was nothing. So now I don't
Yeah,
know. I don't know what they're going to do. We need to get with Josh about this and figure out what they're doing with Orlando City and how they're testing.
yeah, yeah.
Because I mean, a normal test. I mean, it's got to take a couple days, right, to go through. So
You mentioned Orlando City, and Bill, Dollar Bill is putting on here goal. Orlando City. Antonio Carlos putting the Orlando City Lions up 1-0. They are playing right now live. It's a home game. So Josh must be at work
he must be.
tonight. And you know what? Speaking of Orlando City, that sale, I know we mentioned it before last week. It is final. And since we were talking football, to the Wilf family, the owners of the Minnesota Vikings, which um kind of works out for them, right? Because now they're all purple and gold across the board.
Yeah.
They got the Vikes over there with the purple and gold, and they got the Orlando City Lions, with the purple and gold here. So hopefully they do some good things here for our local team. I hear that there's some stuff in the works, so we'll see. We'll see what happens there. Hopefully they make a splash and bring somebody good and spend a little bit of money here for us. But yeah, man. I mean, I'm excited about the football season. I'm excited about everything that's coming up. Excited that after tomorrow starts the beginning of a new season, and I think we go through I think through the end of the year with having football every weekend, starting I think this week.
Yes. Until the Super Bowl.
So yeah, isn't that great?
That's
Uh,
better than great. I mean, what a long summer. Like it's been
oh
so rough.
Gosh, I tell you what, not to get too sappy, but my favorite season of the year is the fall. Being from the Northeast, I love the fall and everything that comes with it. And I feel like when football starts rolling in, I just kind of my days feel different, Timmy. I walk out and the day just feels that much nicer. I feel like I'm in a different groove, different mentality. I'm just
Well, the weeks
I
go by
love it,
quicker
man.
because you've got
Love
football
it.
on Sunday, you've got football on
Yeah.
Monday, and then you've got Tuesday, Wednesday to handle your fantasy stuff. Then you've got football on Thursday. You got Friday night to chill with the boys. Saturday you got college football, and then it's Sunday again, and you got more football. Like literally, there's
Yeah.
3 days out of
Yeah.
the entire week that you don't get football, and that whole time you're dealing with your fantasy teams or you're out there partying, doing your thing. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean it's great. You start planning, getting together with the boys on the weekends and catching, some of the games and man, it's just I tell you what. I mean, we just love football. I mean, that's what we do, right? I mean,
yes, that's it.
we are lovers of the football, and I mean, I'm mainly a pro guy. I don't really do the college stuff. I do try to keep a little bit of tabs on it, but overall, I'm a college guy, but I mean a pro guy, but it's just fun, man. I am excited though. I will say this about our local college team, UCF, with Gus Malzahn coming on, and to see what happens there, and to see hopefully in a couple years we have this expanded playoff because I think there's going to be some genuine excitement here locally when the UCF Knights are making that consistently.
Yeah.
I'm going to put that out there right now. That's my prediction. They will be a mainstay in the expanded college football playoff as we move forward. So, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. What
So was it
you got, Dave?
I saw something about was it the excuse me, the University of Texas, are they moving to the SEC? Is that what's something about that
Yeah.
because I was watching a video of it was some it had to have been some higher up lady that was talking to either the president or the athletic director or whatever, talking about, hey, what's your budget? And he said something like $220 million or something a year. And they said, well, what's that, compared to other, states, other colleges? And he said, oh, I think it's the best one. And she said, you went 3-7 against you're 3-7 against TCU the last 10 matchups, and now you want to go lose to Alabama. And man, I was cracking up. I thought it was so funny because college football, they're making some moves, man, to get to move into the SEC.
I mean, ultimately, though, right? When it comes down to it, it's a business, and it's now becoming a business for the players, right? I saw one player, I forget his name, it escapes me, but he went ahead and transferred out, and I believe he's going to Ohio State. I really wish that I had more better details on this. I should be more prepared. But the gist of the story is that this young man is going ahead to transfer over to a major college program because of the image and likeness deal that they had, and that he feels that he can make more money by being in one of those programs. So ultimately, I think you and I touched on this at one point when this came out, and I remember I made mention of this. This is only going to make it better for the Alabamas and the Ohio States of the world,
Yep.
right? Because you're an institution, in your own right, and now you recruiting was a little easier for you before because you could say, "Hey, I'm Alabama. Hey, I'm Ohio State." Now you can say, "Hey, I'm Alabama. Hey, I'm Ohio
I
State,"
can
and
get
guess
you
what? You can
paid.
make some money,
Yep.
right? You know what I mean? I think you were the one that told me that the quarterback of Alabama, just for being the quarterback of Alabama, was close to like $1 million deal.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Here's a
And
guy that hasn't thrown a
endorsements.
pass for them yet. You know what I mean? So ultimately, this move with Texas and Oklahoma is a business deal. They're looking to have a larger piece of the pie. Um, and now with the players making money, I mean, more and more, this is becoming a business and getting away from being just, college athletes
Yeah.
in the college sport. Ultimately, I mean, what's it going to do for the sport, right?
It's going to turn it into
People,
a farm league for the NFL essentially. I
right?
mean, that's what's going to happen. I mean, you've got kids like this Quinn Ewers guy coming out of Texas who is one of the top quarterback prospects in the country in high school, skipping his senior year so that he can enroll into Ohio State and start making money. Like that's like who would give up their senior year in high school? You're the starting
Yeah,
quarterback, one of the best players in the country. You're gonna skip
yeah,
your senior year of high school where you're a
yeah,
king to become a
yeah,
nobody at Ohio State.
yeah. Yeah, and potentially
Ugh,
make a couple of bucks, and maybe it doesn't go your way, and
maybe get
now
hurt.
yeah, and now you're done, and you know what I mean. You couldn't maximize your potential. That's where I hope that some of these young men have good people in their corner, right?
Hmm.
Somebody that's in their side saying, "Hey, listen, I understand that you see the potential here for to make this money, but if you do this the right way, not only is there potential for you to make money, but for you to make a lot of money, not
Well,
just the
and you know how
immediate
to
couple of bucks you're
read,
gonna
you
make
know
right
how to
now."
do math because you decided to stay in school. Like this is again, we've always talked about this, and I'm not a big advocate of this. I get it, but I don't like it. Um, this is not going to go the way that a lot of avid old school college football fans, college any sport really fan is going to like it. But it is what it is. Again, this is the SEC's way of making more and more money, bringing more and more money into the schools to essentially, I mean, they've got to figure something out where like, we'll bring you in. You want to be the quarterback for Alabama, but as soon as you sign X amount of dollars in revenue, we pull your scholarship and you have to pay for your own school. Something like that. You know what I mean? There's got to be
Yeah.
some kind of understanding there.
Yeah.
Because at that point
See,
it's like,
but
well,
the
now the
but
guy's getting an $80,000-$90,000 education and he's making all this money to do,
yeah. Yeah, but the problem there, Tim, is that the reason these guys are, I mean, these colleges are making money, hand over fist with these guys, right?
yeah,
So yeah, I understand they want a piece of the pie as well, but by the same token, you know, this is just a business. I mean, there's no way around that. I mean, college football, college sports, the major
college
college
in
sports
general.
are they're a business.
Yeah,
Yes, I mean college in general, right?
yeah.
So they can people are going to bitch and whine and cry about these guys making the money, and they're going to try to find a fault for it. But ultimately, again, Texas and Oklahoma are not, going to the SEC because they want to compete with better teams. No, they want to go to the SEC because they make more money with the SEC,
Right.
right? That's what these guys that's what they want. So I don't know. It's just way too much happening, way too much as far as money is concerned, and that drives so much of the college sport that I mean, I agree with Bill. He says that these guys making money is going to ruin college football. It's not only the kids making the money; it's the amount of money that these schools are making
Right.
with these sports. It's just kind of killing the sport in general. I don't know, man.
Well,
They
here's my
need to
thing.
figure some stuff out.
Here's my thing. Let's say you're a soccer player, and University of wherever comes to you and says, hey, we want to offer you a full ride scholarship to come play soccer for us. Um, you You go there. I don't know how the scholarships work. You sign it, whatever. You're entering into an agreement. They're going to pay for your schooling, right? They're going to pay for you to get an education, 4 years, to do something with your life after school. In return, you play soccer for the school and make them good, make them win. Football, baseball, basketball, whatever sport you want to talk about. That's the agreement. Now, you sign a scholarship. Hey, we're going to pay for your schooling. We're going to get you into the NFL because you're that good. There's no more needing an education at that point. Why are you even going to school? Like, this is like the point of the reason that you have to go to college, and NFL says you got to go to college for at least 2 years, is to prepare you to be an adult, be a man, be, not what these NBA players are coming out of high school, not acting like a fool on the court. To me, none of this makes sense. You're a student athlete. You agreed to go to the school and play a sport. In return, you get a free education. Mm-hmm. And that's it. Now you don't need to go to school. Who cares? You might as well just go to Alabama, make your millions of dollars. If I'm making $1 million in endorsements playing for Alabama, why do I need to go to class? I already am a millionaire. What's the point? You go to school so you can learn a trade to make money. I don't need to do that. I already did it. So I don't know. That's my mindset, man. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I agree. I think, but we are where we are right now with these guys trying to make money because of what the college sports scene has done over the years. They've kind of created this issue, right? Because these kids are seeing so much money poured into these schools based on them. And then I think really what's gotten them over the top is just kind of the silliness, the NCAA, the rules that they put on them. Like, who was the kid in, was it Notre Dame that was suspended or whatever it was because he had like one too many whatever was cheese for his bagel, or one too many bagels or something like that. Oh no, you're only allotted one bagel per day or whatever, and he had two, or it was some stupid thing.
I mean, you gotta watch your carb intake. I would suspend him for that too.
And the NCAA is out here, bitching and whining and coming down hard on him, and he's looking over his shoulder going, hold on a minute, but you're making a ton of money because of me, and you're gonna bitch and whine at me and try to act like we have rules here because I can only have one bagel a day. Come on now. So I think the NCAA has created some of this for themselves because of how these stupid rules. But I mean, and at this point now, we've just gone so far down the rabbit hole. It's just going to be, it's too difficult. You know what I mean? I think the NBA is getting ready to start suffering through some of this, or college basketball is going to start suffering through some of this because, which by the way, can college basketball players start making money too?
I think it's college in general. It's not just football. It's college athletes.
Yeah, it is. That's because right. There was a couple other. Barstool, I remember I was talking about that. Yeah.
Barstool Sports signed what's her name, the volleyball player.
Yeah. Yep. But the college basketball, right? Like one of the top picks in this year's draft, I think he was like the third pick in the draft. Was a kid out of the G League.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? They're starting to show that you can go to the G League, play there, and get drafted up high, and you can start making some money there. I mean, I don't know. I think ultimately we are going to start, see these sports start suffering quite a bit. I mean, I don't know, man. It's like I said, I've never been a huge college football fan, partially because I come from the Northeast where I don't have a particular team that I'm a huge fan of. But ever since I've been down here, I've been trying to root for UCF, and maybe that's why I'm not a big fan, because UCF is not the greatest either.
They're like the Orlando Magic of of college. They never do anything crazy. But the thing is like, how do you think the boosters feel now? Like, there's no more having to cover your paper trail. There's no more worrying about this and that. Like, you can just walk up to a kid and be like, hey, here's $1,000 for last week's game, man. Good game. Like, there's no repercussions anymore. There's no rules. Why are you going to school if you don't need to learn anything because you're already making money? Like, that's my entire argument. If you're gonna ask me to make an argument as to why this is stupid, that would be it. I go to school to learn a trade to make money. If I'm already making $1 million in endorsements and I haven't even thrown a pass yet,
Yeah.
there's no repercussions anymore. There's no rules. Why are you going to school if you don't need to learn anything because you're already making money? Like, that's my entire argument. If you're gonna ask me to make an argument as to why this is stupid, that would be it. I go to school to learn a trade to make money. If I'm already making $1 million in endorsements and I haven't even thrown a pass yet,
Well, it's a joke anyway, isn't it, Timmy? Because I mean, like, it's especially in college basketball, these guys enroll to play college basketball. They play through March. They play for what, a semester and a half, if that. So they really have to be in class for one semester.
Yeah.
They start the second semester, and they don't even get through the whole thing before the college tournament is over. At which point they say, "All right, I'm coming back." So you get a bunch of fluff classes to do for your first semester that, you know what I mean, intro to college living and, garbage like that, and you get through your first semester and then off you go to the second one, and you barely show up to class because you're probably excused to go work out or whatever it is because you're the stars of the school, and then you finish and you go get drafted in the NBA. I mean, it's just a joke. For anybody that doesn't think that college sports are a business, the major ones, I mean, I don't think anybody's playing water polo and thinking that's the business that keeps a school running. And no disrespect to water polo and its players, but I mean, it's just the truth. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
People want to watch football. They want to watch, the basketball, depending on what school it is. They'll watch some baseball. And then if you're in the Northeast, then, you may watch some hockey as well. But other than that, I'm not going to watch any of these schools for anything else.
Yeah, I think you said it right. We got some chit chat going on in the chat talking about who the greatest pitcher of all time is. Guys, we covered that last week. If you would have been here last week, like you were supposed to, you would know that Greg Maddux is the greatest pitcher of all time. We already went over this. I'm not going over it again. Go back and watch the video from last week because I hammered it home. I mean, you can talk Nolan Ryan all you want. Nolan Ryan was great. I mean, I had never seen a guy punch somebody that many times in the head. I've seen it. It happened. But Greg Maddux is the greatest pitcher of all time. Go back and watch last week's podcast, and I will teach you a thing or two about it.
That's right, and I will second that. Make sure you yourselves out there who maybe was not listening last week, go on the channel and find us there. Tell your friends to go watch it, and then you guys can have the debate about it. But with the knowledge that Timmy dropped on you guys last week, because let me tell you, it was so good. I didn't even have to. I don't think I had to say a whole lot. All I could do was just nod my head and say yes, because the man brought it. Let me tell you, the man brought it.
I spent half the day putting those stats together.
And it was great. It was. I tell you what, I was very impressed with it. I didn't know half that information, and my God, I mean, the numbers are just crazy. I mean. Like I said, everybody's favorite uncle gets up there on the mound and he's just putting people down.
He does. Greg Maddux looks like that guy he's the guy that's on the grill when you show up at the family barbecue.
Yeah,
he's got a beer belly.
yeah. He's got the socks on with the flip flops.
Drinking a Keystone Light.
Yeah,
classic Greg Maddux.
Yeah, but he gets up there every fifth day, man. He was just mowing them down.
So what else we got? Olympics. We got anything going on in the Olympics? I did see some numbers. The U.S. is winning in overall medals with 79. China's in second, but China's got more gold medals than the U.S. So we got that going on. We did have the U.S. had their first women's gold medalist in wrestling, I believe it was. And this chick, man, I mean, she is built like a freaking brick wall. She put her arms up, and it was like, just like all lats and triceps, and I was like, good Lord, I am not messing with that chick. But yeah, so Olympics, nothing super crazy. I think, the swimming.
You were disappointed. You were disappointed.
I am.
I'm going to throw you out there a little bit. I am going to throw you under the bus because, we did have a discussion last week about Simone Biles and kind of how things went down, and you weren't thrilled with, her side of how things were happening, and we had a really good discussion on that again last week. Folks, go out there and check it out. But you were disappointed. You texted me, and you said something in the line of, everywhere I look, everybody wants to, just talk about Simone Biles and winning a bronze medal. And you were disappointed that people were kind of having her back as much as they were. And why is that, Timmy? I mean, what was it that was just getting under your skin?
And now that we've got some people in here, and I know these guys are a little bit more old school. Here's the thing, and I've tried to word this in the most respectful way to a lot of people, and I've had this discussion with them. So she backs out because of mental health, right? That's why she decided to quit on her team. And I'm going to use my words. She decided to quit on her team because of mental health. So she steps down. You can call it what you want. You can call it stepping down or doing it for mental health. You quit. Okay? That's what you did. Okay? When you were in little league and you didn't want to play anymore because you weren't having fun or you couldn't do it or you were struggling, you quit. That's what you were called. You were a quitter, okay? I'm sorry. But you get on the biggest platform that there is in the world in your sport. You are not mentally prepared for it. You couldn't mentally take it, and you quit. Now, was it a good decision to quit? In her case, yes, it was. But she still quit. You can call it what you want. And that's my whole thing is you quit. She comes back. She wins a bronze medal. Everybody's like, oh, because her mental health, and she pulled off a bronze medal. Who cares? She's the best. If she was there mentally enough to get a bronze medal, she should have been able to get a gold medal. That's my thing.
I brought up Tiger Woods last week when we were talking about it, and I was telling you about on one of his comebacks. He struggled in a tournament, and I don't know, remember if he was trying to make the cut, if it was a Friday or if it was in the weekend already, and he was just playing atrocious. And at one point, all of a sudden, he's like, "Oh, my back hurts, I'm out."
Yeah.
And I told you that I remember watching that. They had the helicopter above, and following him out to the parking lot, getting his car. And I remember looking at it, going, "Are you really hurt? Hurt? I mean, I don't doubt that you tweaked something, and maybe are you giving up on this, and using this injury to get yourself out of what is an atrocious round,
Right.
and you're not playing up to your standards, or are you really that hurt, that you can't make it through?" Now, I'm not him, I don't know. I just remember thinking that, right? And I asked you that the same thing last week when we were talking about Simone Biles. Do you think there was a situation where she thought, "Damn, I'm just not up to my standards here. I have the goat on the side of my, uniform, and I'm on my back and everything." And by all accounts, that was her, right? She's the one that had that thing made. Nobody said, "Hey, we're gonna put the goat on there." I mean, I don't know, but I don't think so. She had all this pressure on herself that she, by her own right, she said, "It's on me." And you go into it saying, "All this pressure is on me. I'm the one that needs to carry this team," and all of a sudden you're not playing up to par, and you're going, "All right, you know what? I'm out." Is that what you think is
What is that
happening?
called? That's called quitting. That's what that's called. I'm sorry, but you were not there. And again, you can sugarcoat it, and you can put your new age POC. Let's make everybody happy verbiage on it and call it mental health. But when it comes to sports, when it comes to athletes, if you are not there mentally, and you decide you can't do it, and you're gonna leave your team on a lurch and leave your country on a lurch because you're not there mentally and you quit, you're a quitter. I'm sorry. And yes, it was probably a smart idea for her because of the tricks that she's doing and what is expected of her. She has to be there mentally and physically, but she wasn't there mentally. And when you spend all this time building it up, you have to train yourself mentally. And when you're not there, you failed. She failed mentally not to be there, and inevitably she quit. So she is a quitter. I'm sorry. She quit. She's a quitter. Now, it'd be different if she got hurt.
Guys.
It'd be different if she got hurt. We talk about the Tiger Woods thing. Tiger Woods physically couldn't do it. And yes, I mean, they're, walking to your car and swinging a golf club the way that you're built to do it, the way that because I can't imagine that's something that it's like being a baseball player and doing a half swing, when you're a power hitter. You're just not there,
Yeah.
But
yeah.
if she had been hurt, and again, we go back to Carrie Strug. This girl freaking on one foot, and she won a gold medal, and she was hurt. So,
yeah.
It's mental health and physicality are two things that go hand in hand. If you don't have one, if you don't have mental health, you can still perform, depending on what you're doing. But if you're not there physically, you really can't do it. You can try, but then at least you're trying. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
I would have rather had seen her pull up a couple times than just fully withdraw. I think she was afraid she was going to embarrass herself. She was maybe afraid she might hurt herself, and she quit.
Well, I mean, I do agree with with everybody 100%, and you've mentioned it too. that's not the sport where you want to get up there if you're
Right.
not,
Mentally there.
if you're not committed to what you're gonna do, yeah, not it's not like a baseball player, like you said, somebody who's up there batting, getting up there and taking four pitches right down the middle and just going, just not all there, man. I can't seem to pull the trigger on this to hit it. You know what I mean? Whatever. And then you're out and you walk back to the dugout and you sit there and you pout. You get up there and you start tumbling around.
Right.
You land the wrong way.
Kill yourself.
Yeah, you most definitely can kill
Yeah.
yourself, snap your neck.
She quit for the right reasons. I just hate the fact that they don't call her a quitter. Like, I'm not arguing that it was a smart move by her.
Quit for the right reasons.
She quit for the right reasons.
I love the fact that you're gonna include that in there. She quit.
Yeah.
Me being the softer one here, I'm gonna give her the benefit of the doubt, right? Because I mean, it can't be easy. It's a big stage. You know, I don't know. I'll give her the benefit of the doubt. And again, we did it last week. We'll say it again. Timmy and I both. This is no disrespect. Not trying to pull anybody down and say, hey, mental health is not important or anything like that. Definitely do not want that message to be the one that's
right.
portrayed here, because it's definitely not the case. It's definitely a real thing. I've seen it around myself. Personally, I have not experienced it, but it doesn't mean that I'm not sensitive to it and the people that are experiencing it. It is a real thing and something that needs to be talked about and respected. But we're able to have, we talk sports, right? And this is the biggest stage in sports, the Olympics, and we're gonna have our opinions on what we're seeing and what we're hearing, and that's what we're here for. So,
but let me ask you this: how many times have we seen football players or basketball players go out after they lost a parent or they lost a child, and go out? Brett Favre did it. Who was it? Somebody did it. Who was it last year when they did it and they ended up catching a touchdown pass and when his son passed away, who was an infant. But I mean, Michael Jordan, that guy had the flu. Physically, he wasn't there, and But we've seen so many times where people aren't there mentally and elevate themselves to the next level. And again, I think this is where you find the true spirit of where that person is, of how strong they are mentally, to be able to handle something and say, you know what, this is what they expect of me. I'm going to go out there and do it, not only to the best of my abilities, but I'm going to do it for them. And I think that, again, I think this starts coming into the politics, which I know we don't like talking about, but I feel like some of the people in the Olympics just don't care as much as some of the other people. You look at the girl that won the gold medal in wrestling. She's got a American flag draped over, and she's like, I can't believe I'm getting to represent my country and the greatest country that there is, and I love America. And then you see that and you're like, yeah, I love this chick. And then you see these other ones where it's like, oh, let's all take a knee during the national anthem in soccer, and then we're the best in the world and we don't even qualify for a medal. I won't talk about what sport that is, but we all know who it is.
You already mentioned the girls soccer team. So,
sorry.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this, Timmy. Do you think that, and you kind of touched on it, do you think that maybe she is, there's potentially that she reacted the way that she did and, stepped down at the time that she did, because she's already been in several Olympics, right? I mean, she's 24 years old.
Yes.
The gymnastics in general is somewhat of a sport that tends to be teenagers, right? I mean, these girls are typically somewhere 15, 16, 14 years old. You start seeing a 17, 18-year-old gymnast, and you're like, wow. You know what I mean? Like, right now, technically, she's the Tom Brady of, gymnasts.
But she's still doing stuff nobody else can do.
And you absolutely. But do you think there may be a little element of, hey, you know what? I've kind of been here, done this. Not that it doesn't, well, I guess it may not mean as much to her in the sense that it's not her first rodeo. Like the other girl that you were mentioning, if it's her first time, you're going to have that hype, that everything of, man, I made it here for the first time. I'm here. I'm representing my country. I'm doing the best that I can at the sport that I love, that I trained so hard to do, and I made it. Is there maybe a little bit of, hey, I've been here, done that, a little bit of that, all that, it's, that the glitz and glamour of it are all kind of gone now, and you're just kind of sitting there going, all right, listen, I'm just not all there. Forget it. I've done this before.
then
I got
then
medals
why
at school.
compete? And that's my mentality is then why go?
Yeah.
You know, if I'm, you know, you think about this girl that won the gold medal in wrestling, she can sign on anywhere, right, and look at the Olympic standings, and she sees that her country has the most medals, and she sees that the U.S. has won 25 gold medals, and without her, they'd be at 24 right now. Like 25 gold medals, 25 opportunities to win the gold that they took advantage of and won. And one of those times was because she did it. Of all of the people in this country, all the people in the world,
Hmm.
she is the best at what she does. You can't tell me that that doesn't get you going, bro. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
I don't I maybe it's cuz I'm not the best at anything. So I just am not used to being the best at something. But I can't imagine that
Yeah.
you don't get butterflies in your stomach looking you're going on Yahoo right now going, "Look at the medal race. We have 25 gold medals and I'm holding one of them. I won one. I'm one of these
Yeah.
25. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like that's insane to even
Yeah.
think about it,
Yeah.
and to say
Yeah.
that
I mean,
that you don't care. They're like, oh, I've been there, done that. I can't get behind that,
and
man.
again, I'm not putting words in her
Right?
mouth, right?
No.
I'm not gonna say that
Right.
she said that, but I'm just, kind of thinking through it, trying to find all the different angles to it, and it's just a thought, right? I mean,
Yeah.
if you've been there, done that, you know what I mean? Like Tom Brady sitting at media day, and if he ever looks like he's disinterested, you might say, well, shoot, he's been here like 10
Right.
times. I mean, it's not this
But
guy
he
who's
doesn't look like
23.
that during the Super Bowl.
Right, but what I'm saying, here's this guy that's 23 years old, and he's like acting a fool, and you're like, oh my god, but hey man, give him his time, give him his shine. He
Right.
made the Super Bowl, you know what I mean? He doesn't know if he's gonna be here again.
Right.
And there's Brady, maybe sitting back over there going, yeah, fun, do your thing. It's just, I don't know, it just
I mean, I will say
just
there is a
something that
mentality
crossed my
of,
mind.
they say something my dad always used to tell me, act like you've been there before. You know what I mean? And I get that. Like, you respect the game, you respect the situation, but then when you haven't been there before and you're on the highest stage and you become the best, you don't need to act like you've been there before because you never have been. No one ever has been,
Yeah,
especially with her.
yeah,
She's the first gold medalist to win in wrestling as a woman. Like, you can't act like you've been there before because nobody's been there before.
no,
So,
no, no. And she had her moment, and I saw the interview this morning. I was watching it. She was very emotional, and it was great to see. That's
yeah,
the thing, right? This is something that, since it comes around, every 4 years, you may have one or, at most two shots at something like this, right?
right.
And then you're aged out for the most part because physically your body can't take it anymore. Again, Simone Biles, I mean, she's 24 years old, and I mean, she's still doing this at such a high level. It's unbelievable. But I don't know. I agree with you to a certain extent. Then there's a part of me that I'm like, all right, I'll give them the benefit of the
Right.
doubt because you just really don't know. I mean, for all we know, her getting a bronze medal was, um, a huge feat because of whatever she's going through, in her personal life, and maybe one day we'll know what that is, and we'll sit back and go, well, holy crap! I mean, shoot, bronze. I mean, wow. But I mean, we just don't know. We just don't know. So all we can do is speculate and kind of Monday morning quarterback this thing to no end.
Well, you know, and again, we want to shout out to Tamira Mensah Stock. I actually had to look her name up because I kept referencing her and I couldn't remember her name. But yeah, winning the gold. And again, we're not downplaying mental health, guys. This is a big deal. It's an
Absolutely.
important thing. But at the same time, we don't want it to seem like it is a boy who cried wolf scenario where you use it as an easy out every time you realize you can't do something or something is too hard. So you say, well, I'm not there mentally. I can't handle it. There's a difference between quitting and mental health where there's actually things going on in your life where you physically can't do things. I think when you're expected and you're trained to do things physically in a sport, anytime you're not prepared mentally for that, you are a quitter because you didn't prepare properly. This is different than when you're sitting at home and you're in your closet crying in the dark listening to music and you don't know what you want to do with your life. That is a mental health situation. When you're having dark thoughts and this and that, that is a mental health situation. This I don't think was a mental health situation. I think this was an easy out for her to quit and say what it was, knowing that she was going to be protected because she was using that term. So that's it. That's just my 2 cents. I love Simone Biles, second greatest Olympian behind Michael Phelps of all time. Boom.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, I agree with you on that part of it at least. Definitely second best to our guy there, Michael Phelps. But yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. I on my side, I choose to you make some good points there, and I definitely agree with some of it. But I will say, I will give her the benefit of the doubt. I mean, she is in a very tough spot. I would hate to see her try to go out there if she's not ready for it to and potentially get very very hurt. Seriously hurt or even worse, kill herself by not being completely there. But to your point, if she did in fact feel like that at some point coming into the games, then maybe she should have removed herself earlier rather than again, I just bring up the point of you know it came up after her struggling through a routine that by all
Yeah,
accounts she was nailing every single time in practice. That's I guess what could potentially raise the question. Is it an excuse to get out of it because you're not competing at the level that you think you should be? But I don't know. Without, I don't know Simone Biles. I don't know enough about her on the personal side to know really where she is. So I have to give her the benefit of the doubt. I think she's earned that from everybody, but we all also entitled to our opinions.
that's it. You got anything else, man? I think we're what the hell was that noise? That was the when Mario dies. I played the song. That was the soundbite. I've been working on getting some sound bites going for you guys. So there you go.
The
It was
funny part
poorly
is,
timed because you literally
no,
said she could die from this, and I went doot.
the crazy part about it, right? I don't hear those
Yeah,
guys.
you
I
don't
don't,
get to hear them.
that happens on Timmy's side, and since we're not in a studio together, we are in separate spots, and we're not we're not as I guess we're not
High
rich
tech.
yet. We got to get to that million plus subscribers to get all that money coming through so that we can get all the high tech stuff. I don't get to hear any of that. So at least you guys are out there enjoying it, and that's what we appreciate the most.
But yeah, I think that's I think we kind of covered everything, man. We covered the three big ones we wanted to talk about: NFL, NBA, the Olympics. Anything else going on this week? I know we got football tomorrow, 8 o'clock on Fox. Cowboys,
Mm-hmm.
Steelers. That's gonna be it's gonna be fun to watch. I'm excited. I mean,
Yep.
we probably won't see a whole lot of action just because it's the first game, but hopefully we'll
Yeah.
get to see some people out there, man. Just get them
Yeah,
out there in the
you know what?
pads.
We get to see NFL level players in uniform hitting each other. We get to see hopefully some touchdown passes, some rushing, some hitting. Um,
Yeah,
you know,
and
ultimately that's what we look for. So we're happy about that.
other thing, guys, next week, August 10th, Tuesday, don't forget Hard Knocks is going to be coming on HBO. They're going to
Mm,
have the Dallas Cowboys on there again for, I think, the third time.
mm.
So if you guys want to
It
tune in
seems
on
like
that,
they go back and forth, the Cowboys and the Browns.
yeah,
I don't
that's,
know.
well, hey,
And then
those are the
they
teams that people
sprinkle
love.
and then they sprinkle in the Raiders. You know,
I would have loved to see the Bucks. That would have been cool. Um,
well they did it a couple years ago,
yeah, but I
but
mean, this would have been a good year to do it.
yeah, I don't think Brady's allowing that.
But yeah, so guys, Hard Knocks next week on Tuesday. We got football tomorrow, 8 o'clock on Fox. This weekend we don't have a whole lot of stuff going on, so we're just gonna, be looking up for some more tidbits and finding some more stuff to blow you guys'
Yeah.
minds. And
But hey, football's around the corner. I mean, like you said, tomorrow that starts up. It starts us kind of getting into that football mindset. So bring on the football. Start thinking about your fantasy teams. Bring on
oh
the questions. Timmy's my guy for the fantasy stuff. I've been doing fantasy for quite some time. I generally do one team this year. Timmy got me onto another league, so
yeah,
I'll be doing two teams. But generally, I tend to stick to one. But look at this guy.
we got the
Look at
Christian
this guy.
Darrisaw football jersey
My
for
man.
the legend. He made the
Yeah.
request. There it is.
Oh,
Rookie offensive
he's,
lineman.
yep. Will Bill says fantasy advice? Absolutely. That's what I'm bringing to the table here. Is bring on your questions, bring on your opinions. It's not a one-sided show by any means. We want to hear from you guys. So whatever, which way you guys can find us on the Twitter at Timmy?
Twitter at Talk Sideline. If you guys are interested in getting into the league, guys, hit up Murky. He's in the chat. I think we might have a couple slots open. He actually started a fantasy league called Sideliners, and
That's right.
he actually invited us to come and join. I think we might have a couple open spots. So if you guys want to hit up Murky in the chat, hit me up, hit Ricardo up. We can definitely get you the contact info to get in touch with Murky, or just shoot us over your email address, and we'll send it over to Murky. He can get it in. We'll fill up the league. It's a 10-man league. Nothing crazy. It's on ESPN PPR league. We're going to be doing, I think, 5 bench spots for the full roster. So nothing crazy. ESPN usually does 7. I think we're going to do 5. Keep it a little interesting. Snake draft free. This is going to be the first year we do it. We got people from all over the country that are going to be playing in it. So
Nice.
pretty excited. But other than that, guys, we're going to get out of here. We're going to call it a night. We got stuff to do tomorrow. We can't be sitting on here talking to you guys all night. So in the meantime, be good to everybody. Everybody love everybody. Make good choices.